Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful afternoon. I know I am because the Oilers are now first place in the Pacific after 5 long years. It's their first time first after a 3-2 win against the Buffalo Sabres in Edmonton. How are we feeling? I'm feeling pretty great. And it's not just that we're first in the Pacific. It's how we won that game. Now, there are concerns. There are very much concerns. The Buffalo Sabres had a lot of shots. This was very much a matinee game of lots of offense, not a lot of defense. I mean, you can say that about both of these teams already, but 2 p.m. game's already going to add to that. But that aside, it's the people who stepped up today to deliver the win that make this such an exciting victory for the Oilers. So who was it? So who is our special performers today? Well, number one is definitely going to be Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins played a full 200 feet game. Huge, absolutely huge. Huge goals, huge defensive plays, huge, just everything all around the ice, playing center, stepping up, and like he's done 2 games in a row now. It was really important that that Nuge kind of like steps up as this, event, like maybe like a third line center, but with McDavid at a second line center. And oh my God, he has just more than delivered. I am so happy with his performance today. Driving his own line with Brown and Janmark. Now, of course, you know me. I have my concerns about Brown and Janmark as like second line wingers. But you know what? Brown and Janmark played excellent today. They had excellent forechecks. They had great defensive plays. They had offensive chances. They were taking the pucks away. They were getting great breakaways. Yes, it's a 2 p.m. game against the Sabres, but it is really good to see that, especially from Janmark, who I know I've been hard on. I know a lot of fans probably want more offense from our depth. And yes, Janmark and Brown didn't get a goal today necessarily, but their play today, I think, should still be very inspiring for a lot of fans. Today, I would be very happy with them. And can we all just give a big deep exhale for Jeff Skinner playing against his former team? I am so happy. He gets just a wonderful goal after a great forecheck from Skinner and from Kasperi Kapanen, who again had a wonderful game today and who got promoted up the lineup. I'll talk about that bit later, but just I'm so happy to see Jeff Skinner get that just such a nice goal, and it's from Ty Emberson with the assist from the slot. It was from the point. It's just like so many players that you wanted to see have good games came out, had great games today. Jeff Skinner was all over the ice. He made defensive plays. Which you never see from him. He was jumping up in the play. He was really fighting. He looked like he was really, really fighting to stay on this team. And I think that he has, more than earned some time up the lineup. I really hope when McDavid comes back, he is staying on at least that third line. Maybe, and I'll talk about this in a second, maybe even the second line with Draisaitl and Arvidsson. All right. I also thought that again, for what feels like maybe the 5th game in a row, Ty Emberson and Troy Stecher are the best Oilers defensemen on the ice once again. I thought that when Nurse and Kulak were playing with Stetcher and Emberson, respectively. They had just wonderful. It was just the best part of both of their games, and there's just so much fight, especially with Klingberg. I think coming in on Monday or Tuesday, I've heard that really feels. It feels good to see a lot of fight, especially from these players down the roster. Because we know we're going to get it out of McDavid. We know we're going to get it out of Draisaitl. We know Hyman and Nuge. They're going to be impactful players. But it's always that depth that has always been kind of the focal point for Oilers fans, especially with Cody Ceci being traded for Ty Emberson, being moved out. There's always that question of how good is our defense after we get past the first pair? And right now, Ty Emberson and Brett Kulak and Troy Stetcher are just absolutely wonderful out there. I'm so happy with their games. Oh, thank you, TV girl. It makes me happy to see you in the stream already. So I'm going to give, as we move into our second period here, moving a little quick, but I want to give a bit of a read for Hyperdrive Hockey, our sister show on the network. Shift into Hyperdrive and get ready to have some fun with your new source for all the biggest stories in hockey, bringing a unique style of broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecois flavor. Hyperdrive Hockey combines top-tier hockey analysis, big stories, pop culture, and a damn fun atmosphere that will drive debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Hout, Daphne Malbouf, and Kevin Laramie every Monday and Thursday for your fill in the hockey world. Watch on YouTube, on the Game Over Network channel, or subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. Head to our website, thegameovernetwork.com, for more. Okay. Now, as we're into the second period, I want to get into something that I want to get into some of the details of this game and some of the things that kind of concerned me and some of the things that really, really impressed me. First thing that I want to say that really impressed me that we didn't really get a chance to talk a lot about is not Jeff Skinner, but Stuart Skinner. Wow. Stuart Skinner played an amazing game today. 2 goals on 38 shots, something like that. After the shots were 8-0 Oilers in the first, I felt like after that it was it was all Buffalo. At the start of the third, it was 9-1 Buffalo. There was a sequence of shots where it was 22-9 for the Sabres. They were lighting Stuart Skinner up, and it wasn't just these nothing shots from the point or from the side, just trying to put anything on it. There were great chances where to make some really big key saves. He got our defensemen, specifically Bouchard and Ekholm and Nurse, got bailed out. All 3 of them were bailed out individually on plays by Stuart Skinner. That kept this game, especially when it was tied, kept the game tied. Really important for him to have such a wonderful game. To especially then to hold the lead once the Oilers get it, to hold that lead, really, really important. But you did see I mentioned our top 3 defensemen in Bouchard, Ekholm, and Nurse. Once again, a bit of a concerning trend. Bouchard and Ekholm was the worst pair. The worst main pair. Nurse Kulak did not play well together at all. I would definitely like to see the Nurse Kulak experiment end. At least for now, does not look like it is paying any dividends at all. Especially with the play of Stetcher and Emberson. Especially Emberson. I cannot speak enough kind words about him. Especially those 2. I think we need to keep Nurse Kulak's minutes to a minimum. Maybe we bring it back a bit later before the playoffs. But it looks like they're kind of fumbling out there. They're letting the opposing team get controlled entries. And this has been the case for about 5-10 games now. I've been saying this. I might sound like a broken record when I say that, but it is true. I would like Nurse Kulak to kind of be put on the wayside as our third pairing defensemen are really stepping up. But Bouchard and Ekholm, I don't know, maybe it's the care, maybe it's the fight. That's just another game. Just another game where they're not playing to the top of their game. Bouchard and Ekholm both had big giveaways. Bouchard failed to clear it for Buffalo's first goal. But Colson, Philip, to be fair, coming off a line change, but Colson and Arvidsson miss the Sabres forward on the entry. Yeah, Alex Tuck, and it's in the Oilers net. It's a 3-on-2, essentially. And that starts with Bouch just not able to clear the puck. There was another play, I think in the third period, where Ekholm just gives it right away. It's not immediately apparent, but he basically just passes it like Ekholm's in our own zone, passes it to basically the Sabres defenseman in the neutral zone, who then passes it back to a Sabres forward and is able to get a really great chance. Ekholm is able to stop it, which, thank God, because that was as bad as a giveaway as people are always criticizing Bouchard for, and Ekholm has done this quite a few times recently over the past 10 games. And I really want all the people who criticize Bouchard, and to be fair, I'm, again, one of Bouchard's biggest defenders. He has not played up to standard for the past 5-10 games. For a few plays here, tonight I thought he did play very well, especially on the Nuge goal with Darnell Nurse. It's just a beautiful pass from Nuge to Bouchard to Nurse back to Nuge. It's a wonderful play, and that is what Bouchard is all about. He's really quick, and it's a difficult pass. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's nothing," but that is a hard pass that he has to make to Nurse. And for Nuge to keep that. That is not easy, and not really anyone else on the Oilers can make a pass like that. You see Emberson make that, and he's gonna fumble the puck. You see even Nurse or even Ekholm. It's really difficult for many defensemen in the league to make this. That's why Bouchard is so great, in my opinion. But it's both him and Ekholm who have been pinching in inopportune times. There was a time where Bouchard pinched in the third period, and it's like why? It's now a 2-on-1. Nuge is rushing to get back because, man, he is just so defensively reliable, but Skinner really stepped up, kind of saved his ass there. And I don't know. And then Nurse, game started with a Nurse giveaway and then missed the man. Like back-to-back like fumbles. It wasn't a great game, especially when that game started with the Nurse Kulak. And in my opinion, I really want to see both Bouch and Ekholm start to care a bit more about these games. We're about game 49. We're going into game 50. So it is a little difficult, but there is a point, especially as we near this All-Star, this Four Nations break, that I would like to see. I'd like to see some improvement there, and then as well, some other my other big area of concern is Podkolzin and Arvidsson as a winger duo are not very good defensively. At least they have not been for quite a bit right now. Especially when Draisaitl is not out there with them. These people keep missing men on entries. There's on the first goal, it's Podkolzin and Arvidsson just missed the guy. I think this is a bigger issue for Podkolzin, especially because Arvidsson is a much better forechecker. There were so many moments where Arvidsson kind of made up for his defensive lapses because he was getting pucks, just stealing pucks in the and forcing the defenseman of the Buffalo Sabres to cough up that puck in the offensive zone. I also thought Brown and Janmark did a very good job of that too as well. I want to give shout-outs there. But especially Podkolzin, but Arvidsson too. That is another concern that I am having with McDavid out of the lineup. I mean, he's going to be coming back, but still, there is some defensive issues that I'm seeing there. And you saw it with how Chris Knobloch was going to people like Hyman, who I thought had a really good game, to people like Corey Perry, who I thought had a really good game, to Kasperi Kapanen, who, after getting demoted from the second line when Arvidsson came back, I feel like a lot of Oilers fans hadn't seen a lot of. He's been playing that third, that fourth line even a lot of times. But man, he's had a good few games now. He played very well today, and especially on the Skinner goal. That was huge forecheck from him. And then on Nuge's second goal, that entry from him, Nuge keeps it in on just like I don't even know how he kept that in, but Kapanen with like a nice little spin move, gets the wraparound, and Nuge drives the net for the rebound and puts it in. That's huge effort from Kapanen, and that's exactly what you want to see. I don't know. Maybe we see Kapanen up on that second line. Maybe. Just a thought. I think one pro about this Oilers roster is that there's a lot of flexibility with our lines. Knoblauch can move around, can promote the good players, can promote people like Kapanen and Skinner when they're having a good night, like he did. And of course, but Coles is not going to have a bad night every night. There are nights where he looks amazing, and on those nights, I would hope to see Knoblauch promote him because he deserves it. That's one thing that the Oilers coaches, Knoblauch included, never feel like they're all that up to doing, is promoting people who feel like they're playing great. A lot of Oilers coaches love to stick to their guns. That was notoriously the fall of Woodcroft and Dave Manson, but I'm happy to see Knoblauch was doing that, was promoting the players that were playing very well tonight already. So now that we get some concerns out of our way, as we move into our third period here, I would like to shout out Game Over Network's Patreon page. Are you looking for ways to help an upstart media company employing over 30 young journalists and analysts like myself across Canada? If you have a few bucks kicking around, you can head to our Patreon page at patreon.com/thegameovernetwork. There you'll find multiple tiers featuring different rewards and goodies for helping us grow. If you're not able to spare a few dollars, we have a free tier available so you don't miss out. If you really want to help us, make sure you click like and subscribe on YouTube, rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcast app, and share our work on your social media of choice. That's patreon.com/thegameovernetwork. Alrighty. So, a few key notes. I mean, I could comment on our power play. That didn't look very good at all. But McDavid's not there, so why even bother with that? One thing I will say, our PK probably does need some work. I did think the power plays later in the game were fine, or the penalty kill, sorry. But man, like the one where the Sabres get that goal, they had like 8 shots or something. It was rough, and that was kind of a big momentum shift where the Sabres were getting a lot of time, a lot of good chances in that second period. And of course, in the playoffs, the Oilers had a great, like, otherworldly penalty kill, but that was a bit of a heater, and of course, it did slow down. It was terrible to start the season. We've picked it back up recently, but really recently, I think it started to slide again, and I think it is a point of concern, something that we should watch out for on, like, moving into the future. Another note, unrelated, but Draisaitl, I mean, he was just kind of like running the Sabres around. No points tonight, but he was a very key player. He was getting shifts with Kapanen and Perry, Hyman and Perry. I thought, like Draisaitl, obviously, when he plays with anybody, is great. But I thought, he had just like another great game, even if he wasn't on the score sheet. Hits the post on the empty net. Like, wow, he's basically... He just can't score on that empty net. I was at the LA Kings game where he like passed on the empty net. It was crazy. Like, I don't know. It is pretty funny. Maybe he's like thinking about Nathan McKinnon's 13 empty net points and is like, that's not me. I'm not like that. I would never tie the NHL scoring lead with an empty net goal because those are fake goals, and I only score real goals, like 5-on-5. Everyone called him a power play merchant. Now he's like far and away the best 5-on-5 player in the league right now. You know, maybe he's just he just believes in the sanctity of 5-on-5 play. But other than that, I think that's really all I have to say about this game. Oh, there was also Tage Thompson's distinct kicking motion, a classic. It was a classic distinct kicking motion. It was exactly what a kick was. It was exactly what a kick was. It was pretty funny. But other than that, I don't really have much to say. It's a classic Saturday matinee game, especially without McDavid. He is back, and he is back for Monday night, 7:30 against the Kraken. 3 more games left in this Oilers homestand. You can catch me live after the game Monday night against the Kraken. I hope to see you there. I hope you have a good rest of your evening, and I hope you have a good night. Thank you so much for watching.